And going live.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Box Mining Why. Today we are going to answer a question as why is Bitcoin dumping? It is a heavy dump on both Bitcoin and more so on the altcoin side. We see a huge number of liquidations. It's actually quite savage. I should turn this off. And of course, we're going to look at some of the market data to show where it potentially, when potentially, it's going to end. So, without further ado, Ron, we got Ron here.
And also stick till the end. There's some airdrop updates as well.
Awesome. Okay, very quickly. So that's gotta recover those gain losses, right? Very quickly, let's take a look at the bloodbath that we have. Whoa, savage. I mean,
Really
Bitcoin. We got Bitcoin. Let's screw up the Bitcoin first. Bitcoin is below $60,000. This is a major psychological hit for a lot of people. We like seeing 6.
Yeah.
All right, 6 good, 7 better, 8 magical. But below $60,000 is a scary time for a lot of people. So we've been hit by two mini dumps, one a bit more savage than the other. And also on the Ethereum front, we have 3,200. So this is yet again trading at the lower end. So I actually showed an earlier tweet this morning where I was swing trading. So I actually started buying today. This is my buy range, and I'm looking for a bounce back up. But there's two kind of primary reasons for what's happening right now. All right, and that is one, low volumes, right? After the ETF, after all that's happened, we saw the kind of like almost week on week reduction of 30 to 40% in trade volumes for Bitcoin on major exchanges. This is very, I would say it's telling that right now there's just not as many traders. It's not actually good or bad. This is just people who want to hodl, they just hodling. People who want to get out, they got out already. So the volume is just low, which means that right now if and when people want to dump some Bitcoin, prices can move drastically because there's just not as many people trading. So it just imagine, if you put a liter of water into a small glass, right? It's gonna overflow and cause a lot of mess, right? But if you put the same amount of water into the ocean, nothing's gonna happen,
Yeah.
right? It's just because the volume is low right now. The effects feel very immediate. The second reason right now that's looming over our heads is Mt. Gox. We'll talk about that in a later segment.
Yep.
But that's just looming thought that we're going to take a look at. Of course, the markets are drastically affected. Let's take a look at the liquidation charts.
Yeah, a lot of longs getting liquidated. Over the past 24 hours, 237 million longs got liquidated. Are we going to see even more volatility? If you look at the open interest, we can see in the past 12 hours is pretty much reset down below. It's not that big of a change, but people are getting scared, right? When you see open interest getting low, that means fewer people are opening long positions or short positions.
Yeah, and you can see that the volume is just lower and lower. People don't want to speculate. I know this is crypto. I know everyone wants to speculate, but guess what? People don't want to speculate as much right now. So what the data is showing us is that the people who are looking for a massive pump in the market, who bought the longs, they got destroyed. They got absolutely wrecked here. So it goes to show yet again, I think it's that the people who are winning right now are the people who are hodling. So if you look at the biggest hodlers like Michael Saylor, they just hodl. They don't really care. They don't have open positions, right?
Yeah.
So Bitcoin can drop as much as it wants, and then they'll be fine. They're fine. They don't need to sell anything, right? It's the people who are hurting right now are the traders who were looking for a long, and the people who are essentially using leverage money to buy Bitcoin. Those are people who are effectively hurting.
Yep.
And the people who are kind of chilling back in a corner, we're kind of fine. All right. So I guess that's quite important distinction to make right now is that what I've seen in the Bitcoin community, especially with the long-term whale hodlers is that the whales don't really care that much. If the whales did care, they'll sell billions of dollars and it's over. We see one or two whales, selective cases, and I think this is being flagged on Reddit that there are a few whales that do own millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. They're just like dumping down on Binance Exchange, and we'll see that in a second. There are a few whales like that, but the rest of whales, they're just staying quiet.
Yeah.
Like they're still taking a break. They don't care. We've seen this a million times before. We heard about Mt. Gox many times. Bitcoin died more than we can remember.
Yeah.
All right. So that's kind of the current situation here. So let's take a quick look at the altcoins as well.
Yeah, I think the biggest hit is the altcoins. Bitcoin, Ethereum going down, meaning good DCA opportunities. But for the rest of the altcoin markets, they take a big hit. So there's this video, right, where one person has this, he trips, like, a small trip. And then the person behind him tripped big time. That's the altcoin. And as you can see, I actually remember drawing this trend line a couple of weeks ago. We've maintained this really good support down this trend line right here. There's even one more here, but it broke down, failed to reclaim. Obviously, this was a big dump in April, and we broke down another one. And this is the major one. This one started in November 2023 when pretty much things started kicking up for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Then alt started following Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? So we've already, I think, pretty much got rejected off this trend line. So we're expecting the range to be around the current level and potentially back to the local support here back in February. So it could take as maybe 100 billion in drawdown. So that's not really, really good. So yeah, alts in general are suffering the most because of this dump.
And it makes sense, right? If you actually look at the chart, it's actually quite interesting how it's just like when it dumped, it dumped drastically,
Yeah.
all the way back in April, and taking another hit in July is expected.
Yeah.
One of the biggest reasons why is, as an altcoin trader, you're looking for the markets all to move up.
Yeah.
You're looking for a rising tide of Bitcoin to lift up all the boats, and then obviously when it lifts up all the boats, there's a lag time too.
Yeah.
So people can actually wait for Bitcoin to start its rally before they get into the altcoin space.
Yeah.
So now the people who were originally were flipping altcoins, they realize, okay, look, Bitcoin's sinking a little bit. All right, let's wait till the holes are patched up. Let's wait for the patching process to take place, and then go back into altcoins, which is fine.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm still hodling what I have in altcoins. I still see this as a potential entry. Like, I see potential entry positions, but I'm not in a rush to buy. I think this is why also there's not as many people trying to buy right now. I don't see a rush, right? Let Bitcoin tank a little bit. I'm not in a rush to sell. I'm not in a rush to buy. I think when it comes to the alts, I saw there was some talk about potentially scooping up some Solana to be ready for meme coins, but I'm still on the fence. I'm still on the fence because I feel like when Bitcoin moves up 10-20%, that's when I'm gonna massively deploy. All right, I'm gonna wait for Bitcoin to cross 60K again. I'm gonna wait for that opportunity. I might play some. I may play some short-term meme coins in the meantime, just play around. But I'm not gonna make any major hodl deployments. Nor I'm gonna change or freak out about my hodl deployments. I feel like if there's like right now we're testing the support. It could, like, we bounced many times off this, right?
Yeah.
Look, it's actually quite interesting how many times we bounced off the support that we have here. That's actually quite interesting.
Yeah.
Like 1 bounce, 2 bounce, 3, 4, 5, and 6 bounces off that point. So it's actually it's a very key point to watch.
Yeah,
Because
I think we're still in price discovery though, because this is no man's land after this support right here. Right? We're off of this big drawdown here.
yeah, but you hit it. You
Failing
see
to
how
reclaim.
we always bounced up from this point.
From
right?
this, yes.
Yeah,
true.
right?
Yeah.
Right? And think about look at what happened in May. Look at what happened in May. May yet again, it tried to hit this line and it bounced off it, right? All the way same with April. Right? It could be that we bounce again. If it bounce again, that actually signals that this is actually quite a strong support point for the alts. So we're gonna see how much the bulls on alts have money to buy at this point.
Yeah.
Right, that's a very, very interesting point to watch. So I'm very, very attuned to this market right now because if we do dump, it could be the case that we fall like
Back down here.
back down here. Yeah,
477.
yeah, which may not be a bad thing. Not be a bad thing.
Yeah. But overall, charts show behavior of buyers and sellers. What I think is happening is VCs are dumping their alt positions so that they're playing safe. They're hedging by selling their alts, and this is also drastically exacerbated because of the futures market. Right, there's a lot more volume and money in the futures market than spot. That's how it works. So it's even more volatile on altcoin markets. So you have to be very careful if you're going to be opening long or shorts on alts.
It is what it is, and it's a highly speculative market. I mean, you have ETF potential on one side, and you have a massive dump potential on the other side. So here we go. Welcome to crypto, guys. Welcome to crypto.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's very quickly move to the news. All right, this was what I was talking about earlier, guys, with some whales dumping. So another whale deposited 1,800 BTC onto Binance. So this is worth $358 million. So these whale transactions they're hilarious, right? Because it's just such a large amount in one go. And it's not unheard of because there are whales that got into crypto very, very early on, and they can have tens of thousands, if not more. So selling a little bit of the portfolio is not abnormal. But it's interesting to track these wallets because they can have such a huge effect, especially for 323 million dumping all at once. If it is on Binance, it's quite a lot. Typically speaking, what they should be doing in theory is to spread out between multiple exchanges if they're going to dump it fast. But maybe this whale needs to get some money fast. That yacht's waiting. The yacht's waiting. The yacht's waiting. He needs that money right freaking now.
Yeah.
So
I need it right now.
Right now. Right now. I don't care if the market dumps 3%. I need it right now. Could be possible. But it's good to track these over time.
I feel like it's not a smart whale. I think he could have OTC'd as well, no?
Yeah.
With such a large position.
Yeah. And once you OTC, they spread it out through multiple exchanges. So maybe he wants to send a message. Like, yo, guess what?
I'm done.
I'm done. All right, moving on to. Oh, I'm gonna play his music. All right, moving on to the biggest pressure. I have talked about this quite a lot. In fact, so the biggest threat, of course, is but Mt. Gox is the exchange that collapsed, Magic the Gathering online exchange, and it's been a decade since it collapsed. But during that collapse, they have on their hands a lot of Bitcoin, and that's being given back to some of the people who were victims of Mt. Gox, including me. So for me, I'm too small price to actually make a big difference. I use exchange. It was one of my first exchange burns where I realized this exchange, even though it took up 60% of the market, it was the biggest exchange for Bitcoin at that time. It can still collapse, and it was one of my solid lessons learning about not putting too much money on exchanges. So now the biggest fear, of course, is just how much potential sell pressure the Mt. Gox payout victims can sell. So it's interesting because there's no real. You can hear both arguments on both sides. You can hear that people saying they've been waiting for 10 years and for this money to come, for this Bitcoin to come back into their hands, and if they do get it, they will sell. That could be a possibility, but there's the other side of this, which is like, okay, Bitcoin's gone. They waited 10 years. They don't really need the money. Are they urgently going to sell? Nah. But I think the biggest issue is not about whether people are going to sell it or not. It's the psychological pressure of just such a huge amount of Bitcoin being unlocked. So the entire sum is upwards of $9 billion. But what we've seen is that potentially the amount of unlocked that's coming up very soon is going to be 18,000 Bitcoin. So it's a little bit north of $1 billion that could come onto this market. And yet again, this $1 billion marks a lot of fear. Personally, I actually believe that this market needs to tank this fear. It needs, even if it falls down, I think it's actually good for the market because then we're going to see where the people are going to buy it. We know that long-term supporters, they've known about this for a long time, and they're preparing money to buy into this potential sell wave, right? So I feel like my personal thoughts on this is that usually the fear is biggest before the dump or before something materializes.
Yep.
And now we're probably at the biggest fear right now, right? So honestly, as a hodler, I'm just waiting this out. It's just too much.
It's funny that Bitcoin kind of has a vesting schedule now. We're waiting for Bitcoin unlock.
Yes.
Investors who put in their money in Mt. Gox at 2014 was around how much? How much was Bitcoin at that time?
Dude, that was like 100, 200.
Wow. So that's like a 600.
Actually, it was varied. It's actually also traded like crazy. It's traded to 1,000
Yeah.
to maybe 500.
Oh my god.
So
They're
think about-
forced to lock their tokens with Mt. Gox.
Oh gosh.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's move on to the next topic.
All right. Llama says Hawk Tour. Spit on that thing.
Me, man.
All right. So, CoinMarketCap just released their crypto market report for the first half of this year, and there's a lot of good analysis here. And I recommend you guys to have a read at this just to get an overall gauge of how we've been performing so far in the first half. So, overall market wise, Bitcoin dominance at 53%, showing no sign of an altcoin season. This needs to come down for altcoins for money to trickle into alts, right? Overall, fear and greed index, we're still at neutral, 49. This is from data, this is spanning 6 months of this year. 89% of sectors experience negative market cap change. So I'm sure that comes from alts. So 89% of the alts have negative market cap change. Pretty sad, but we'll see. In terms of market activity, though, liquidity is down 18.5%. Now, this is a very important metric that is not really seen a lot on exchanges. So, liquidity going down, people are calming down. There's a saying that sell in May and go away, something like that. So it's appearing here, but usually towards the year end, people start becoming optimistic again. I think that's how just the cycle works, year by year. Yeah, but currently, April and May took the largest hit. Right, we're still in the bull run, but this is the corrective wave that we're experiencing right now from April and May.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Like Bitcoin only really moves up 6 months after the halving.
Mhm.
We're still in that 6 months period where nothing's really gonna happen.
Yeah.
So preparing for the major bull, and if you want a major bull, you want to flush out all the people who are not caring about the market. That is the way it is. You want hodlers rather than dumpers.
Oh. And in terms of meme coins, right? Solana base, it's no surprise, outperformed Ethereum base by 8x. But the niche in Solana meme coins, political memes, is actually the most popular subcategory. So this is tokens like Tramp and Bowden. Kamala Harris apparently had a big pump today.
I mean, it's funny if you actually talk about Solana Bay meme performance. Is it performance in dumping or pumping?
Volume.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
I was like, it can pump AX and it can also dump AX too, right?
True.
Because that's what I found with Solana-based meme coins. They tend to move a lot faster. Like the time frame is fast.
Yeah.
But anyways,
But yeah, just to support this, Pump Fund has the most highest revenue generation of all the dApps, even compared to Ethereum-based dApps. Their revenue generation is high. So
well, and it's interesting because we're in crypto, but this news seems really interesting. Dior Armani faces scrutiny over 2K bags made for $57. This is news.
this is
This is news. This is real news right there, guys. Whatever you're looking at, close that. Let's move on.
All right, let's move on. And on the VC end, DWF Labs, very infamous for their pump and dump strategies, but still a very strong VC overall, launched $20 million fund for Web3 projects in China. Okay, in China. They're expanding to China. They're going to be investing into GameFi, SocialFi, meme coins, derivatives, and layer 1, layer 2 projects across Chinese-speaking regions. So I'd say slow development so far here on China. But it's very interesting that DWF Labs has decided to expand to China. A lot of the VCs here in Hong Kong actually don't like DWF Labs because of it. I think a lot of MMs don't like DWF Labs, but they're like, hey, I don't care. There's opportunities to be made in China. We're gonna capitalize on that. So yeah.
Cool. Let's move on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we got some airdrop updates. So for Jupiter, they announced that there's gonna be $60 million worth of rewards if you've been staking Jupe and voting. Okay, so if you voted on any JupeDAO proposals in the last 3 months, you'll be eligible to receive these rewards. And $60 million worth of rewards include 50 million Jupe tokens, 7.5 billion Wen, 7.5 million Zeus, Uprock, and Shark tokens.
So basically, if you use Jupiter, you're in luck.
Yeah. And don't forget, they have the round 2 airdrop coming, right? The round 1 airdrop was big, but the round 2 airdrop is also coming. I think it's going to be in same time frame as last year. It's exactly a year
So
apart.
keep on trading. Just get a feeling. All right.
I'm wondering though, like if because some bots, BonkBot uses Jupiter as a router. Does using BonkBot though
It should.
qualify?
It should.
Maybe. We'll
It's you're still using it. You're still using it.
Yeah.
All right. Move on. Move. Let's. I want to get to the handbags. Joking.
Okay. And on same in the Solana ecosystem, you guys know Sanctum, right? Sanctum is a liquid staking protocol for Solana. Their cloud token airdrop. So FP Lee is one of the co-founders of Sanctum. So they've announced that they're going to be having 10% of their token supply for airdrops. 5% will be allocated to Wonderland XP. So if you go to Sanctum and you have that XP farming just by holding the liquid staking tokens, you'd be getting the airdrop. But this one is a little bit vague. All right, other half, 5% will be allocated to earnestness. I'm sensing a little bit of insider information here. How they're classifying earnestness is they're saying determined by real social contribution. I don't know how you quantify that on chain. Quality, not quantity. Reward learning, teaching, and helping
Wow.
others, not airdrop farming. I'm assuming this is activities on their Discord, as well as small bonus to Wonderland XP. But usually whenever I notice when like big projects, because Sanctum is high in valuation, they have like this sort of section where it's like, because they're aware that I feel like they're being defensive, right? Because they have this such long post and they're like, no airdrop is going to make everybody happy. Usually
Cool.
big projects do this. Like they're being very defensive.
But it's good. It's
Yeah.
good. If you farm airdrops, it's good. We're gonna set up a second airdrop channel. We don't know if this YouTube is against airdrops.
Oh, yeah.
Because what they flag us on is for hacking, and sometimes when you do airdrops, you're trying to find the best strategy to farm airdrops, and we don't know if that could be classified as hacking in YouTube's eyes. I don't know. Okay, right now YouTube is just the worst platform to be on right now. So. Whilst we do that, guys, we're gonna make a second airdrop channel. We'll put that link on this video so you guys can subscribe to that as well. And then we're testing out more content like this. So if you guys want content like this and you want these news updates, make sure you click the like button. It really does help the channel grow. And nice to see you here, Llama 6666.
Hot tool.
And I'll interact more with guys. I know I've been a little bit quiet recently. I just wasn't feeling super well because personally on my side, I was like, I had the warts removed and I was just feeling really icky every day. So I'm glad to see you guys all here. And I want to continue kind of building our community, providing content for you guys. So I hope we'll do more.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ron.
Duke.
Duke.